Hey everyone, alright, so back by popular demand. Okay, not really. I actually had two people say, hey Jason, do you do any other videos? And if so, do you do stuff other than real estate? Well, real estate's my first passion, so I do a lot of real estate, but I do have other hobbies. And I had a friend ask me a question about something I really enjoy. Some people like Star Wars, I do too, but one of my favorite books of all time is Ender's Game, and inevitably everybody that knows me knows I'm a big fan. They always ask me, what did you think about the movie versus the book? Well, let's give it a little bit of background story first. So I first read the book in 1997 as required reading list. My high school at Sci-Fair High School, they gave us a list and they said, hey, choose a book in this list, and everybody was choosing short books or Ayn Rand and just different books in that nature. And there was a science fiction book, and I was like, I'm not going to read a science fiction book. It's probably not that good, and it's kind of nerdy, and it's a popularity thing in high school, all that junk. But anyways, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and read it anyway. So I read it, and it turned out being a life-changing book for me. I really enjoy it, and I've owned probably 10 copies, two hardbacks, and now I even own it in first edition, and I'm not going to go too far into it, how big of a fan I really am, because I could go on and on and on. So let's get back down to the main question that people want to ask me: book versus movie. All right, so as most people would say, the book is always going to be the best. There's just really not anything that you could argue against that. The book is by far better. The follow-up book, Speaker for the Dead, was just amazing as well. But Ender's Game is, from beginning to end, it endeared you to the character Ender. So you can't really go wrong with that. The movie, though, so everybody I talk to that says they're a fan, they want to dog on the movie. They want to knock on it and say, well, it was horrible. I was a critic of movies in college, and it got exhausting. So sometimes, as I've gotten older, I just learned to appreciate what is there, what the movie actually gives me, instead of being negative, because I spend money on it. So I'm going to try to enjoy what I can. And there were parts of the movie that I just cringed. It was horrible. For example, Bonzo Madrid. Great actor. He did a fantastic job, but he was muscular, but part of that in the book was Ender knew he was always been undersized. He's always been undersized or whatever, to where he was always going to lose, and you loved the character because he was the underdog and he always found a way to win because he used his brain. Bonzo in the movie, though, you're like, okay, yeah, he's buff, he's big, but he's short. And so it didn't feel like he fit the actual character of Bonzo Madrid. And I didn't really care for that. But there's a lot of things I didn't care about. I mean, some of the character roles. One character that actually plotted to get him killed turned out being in his battle command at the end of the movie. And it was like, what? No, that doesn't belong. It doesn't even fit. And then Bean, he rode up in this spaceship with Ender. No, in the book he did not. It just felt like they crammed a bunch of stuff into it. But all that aside, what I liked about the movie, there's two takeaways from the movies that I really appreciated, and I love that Orson Scott Card did with his involvement. First off, I want to say this though. Card wanted to do a movie a lot sooner. I've been following for almost a decade, and he said, I'm not going to do it until the technology is there to give me what I really, really want. I still don't feel like it was there, and I think by the time he got to the point where he said, okay, I can do a movie, I think there's too much politics behind the scenes saying, hey, we're going to do what we want to do with this movie because we think we can make it better. And it is unfortunate. But anyways, so two things. One, Battle School. I have always wanted to see what Card envisioned the Battle School to look like. There was a lot of speculation of what the Battle School looked like. He even had a writers forum that was set up like a MMO in a way to where everybody could collaborate and be a part of the story, make their own characters. And there are people that came out with drawings of it. But I always wanted to see what Orson Scott Card wanted to actually do with the Battle School. And I thought it was unique, and it was very beautiful in a way. Something that I've always wanted to see. Anyways, that part was fantastic. Second thing that I've always wanted to do is, in the book, he says he tries to endear you to the hive queen. The book described it as an ant, and when I look at an ant, I don't think, oh, this is beautiful. It's an ant. What I want to do is kill it, especially if it's on me. Kill the buggers, if you will. But anyways, so when he made the hive queen at the end of the movie and showed it, I was like, oh, it looked a lot better, and it made me understand from his perspective what he thought it should look like and how it turned out. So those are the two things that I appreciate about the movie. I appreciate the characters. I think that some of the characters did a fantastic job. Storyline, they rushed it. They crammed too much of it into it. Yes, I get it. But takeaway, enjoy the movie for what it is. But the book's always going to be better no matter what book it is. If it's Lord of the Rings, it doesn't matter. It's always going to be better. So take it for what it is. All right. Well, this is my blog for the day, and I hope you enjoy it. And hopefully everybody that watches it I no longer have to answer it. I can just copy and paste a link and say, here's my opinion. Anyways, my name is Jason Graham, and yes, that's my take on Ender's Game, movie versus book. But if you need real estate help, give me a call, 281-467-0864, or you can always email me at jason@jgrahamhomes.com. Have a great day.